What is up, guys? This is Colonial Puppet, and this is part one of a Let's Build that I've been thinking of doing for a while. I haven't really mentioned anything about it on my channel, but I got the idea for this Let's Build when I was playing SimCity for the first time in years. And while I was playing SimCity, I thought it would be cool to do a Let's Build in Minecraft of an entire city. So this is going to be an entire Let's Build a City series that I'm going to be doing. But instead of just building random buildings everywhere that don't really serve any purpose, I thought it would be cool to build the city as though I'm playing SimCity. So in SimCity, if you build random buildings, they don't really do anything. They just cost you money, and they become abandoned and catch on fire and are just kind of detrimental to your city. I thought it'd be cool to build a city in Minecraft with that mindset, to only build buildings that help the city and are necessary for the city to run and thrive and do whatever it is a city does. So as you can see, I started with a fire department. The next thing I'm going to be building is a power plant, because cities need power. But as you can see, unfortunately I didn't film the construction of this fire department. This will be like an average Let's Build. I will be filming the construction of the entire city, but unfortunately I wasn't able to film this fire department being built. But from here on out, this Let's Build will include construction of everything I build. So yeah, this is a pretty cool fire department. It's probably one of the most advanced buildings I've built. There's a lot of redstone, a lot of cool features this building has. So without further ado, I'll just kind of get into the tour of the building. As you can see, City Fire Company 001. I haven't thought of a name for this city. I'll probably give it a name next episode of this Let's Build, but as you can see, every light is manual except for the outdoor lights. I'll quick show you the outdoor lights. The outdoor lights are triggered by this here sensor, this light sensor. So when the lights, or when the sun goes down, it triggers this to turn on all the outdoor lights. So the lights under here, as well as the lights in the back. I'll show you. These lights that run around the parking lot are connected to this sensor over here. So again, when the sun goes down and there's no light, this triggers all these lights to turn on, which is pretty cool. Something you can't do really in the Xbox version of Minecraft. I know you can, like there's probably some weird way to do it, but I don't think they have light sensors in the Xbox version. But you know, before I go inside, I'm just gonna do a pan around of the fire department. Just kind of show you what it looks like. Here's the cool tower. Pretty cool. The exterior is actually based on a concept picture I saw of a modern skyscraper, or a modern fire department, sorry. Concept art of a modern skyscraper. I'll be putting that picture on the screen now. Now I'm going to be showing you the interior of this build. I'm not the best at interior, but there's some cool features that this building has. I already showed you the sign, but here's the front desk, fire department. Here's a lounge area. People can just sit, do paperwork on this here table. Some nice pictures. Nothing too special, but everything, like I said, is manual. So you can turn all the lights on the inside on or off with this switch. Like so. Here's a storage closet, as you see. For some reason these lights turn off. It's because of the pressure plates. They kind of mess with the redstone underground. I may be changing these two buttons or something, but when you're on the pressure plates, these two lights turn off, but when you step off, they turn right back on. So it's not too big of a deal. But here's the main garage. Here's the pole that will lead up to the second floor, which I'll be showing you in a second. Lights bottom turns on and off these lights that run around the bottom. Pretty self-explanatory. This switch turns off the top lights, which isn't only these lights. It's also these lights outside. Boom, boom, boom. Turns off those, and I'll show you once I turn these back on. Boom. These turn back on, and so do these. Pretty cool. Here's a shower room So when you're done fighting fires, you can flip on the switch, step into a shower, and then turn on the water. Get a shower. Pretty cool. The shower was actually the concept of the shower was kind of given to me by Juicy Taz, who built Roosevelt City, or is building Roosevelt City. He showed me a cool shower. I was kind of able to find out how he did it. He showed me the whole pressure plate kind of method of keeping the water from spilling out everywhere and flooding the entire room. It just keeps it in that little space, which is awesome. So shout out to Juicy Taz for showing me how to build an awesome shower. Here's some changing ledges, I guess, or shelves to like put clothes while you're changing. And here's storage for, I guess, equipment and fire gear. In here is or actually before I go in here, I'll show you the second floor, which is the living quarters of the firefighters. So up the stairs, here's like a lounge area with like a little table. Again, has its own like light switch. And this light switch actually only affects this area. It doesn't turn off the lights in here. That has its own light switch. So just only in this little area, which is pretty cool. Here is the pole where you slide down. So when there's a fire, they just come out of here, run to here, and slide down and go out. I didn't build any fire trucks, obviously. I'm going to be installing a mod that actually lets you drive real fire trucks instead of just block fire trucks. I've already looked into the mod. I actually downloaded it before, but I think I got the versions wrong, so it didn't work too well. Here, at first I wanted there to be a sprinkler system in the main garage in case like one of the trucks like caught on fire or something. But then as I thought more, I thought it would make more sense if it was like something to clean the trucks. As you can see, once you flip the switch, water floods the entire main garage. I guess to clean the trucks or something like that. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Or in case there's a fire. And once you turn it off, the water goes away, like so. No damage done. It doesn't like break any blocks, which is good. Sometimes there's blocks that break once they hit water, but there aren't any in here, which is awesome. Alright, now for this room. Here's a bathroom, again, with its own light source that you could turn on and off. Here's just a bathroom with a soap dispenser and a hand dryer, and a toilet. Nothing special. I need to get better at bathrooms, or at least furnishing bathrooms, because this isn't that great. Here is the call center. So this is like where any distress signals will come out. So this actually will be hooked up to the rest of the city, because like I said, I want to build this city as though it were a real city, or like a sim city where each building relies on each other, or the city relies on each building in order to function. So this is going to be a functioning fire department. Before I show you what this is and the alarm, I'll just show you the lights. Boom. It's attached to these lights and the hallway lights over there. So there's that. Nothing too special. The alarm, I'll show you. Just flip that on. It triggers a couple things. First, it triggers these note blocks out here, as you can see. The alarm goes off. The redstone runs like underground and then over here and then up this wall and then over to where the note blocks are. So it hits those. It also triggers the note blocks up here on this tower, like that. Boop, boop. And it also triggers this light to come on over here. This kind of runway is where the police chief parks, so when there's an alarm, there isn't a sign on here right now, but there is going to be a sign that says, when this light is on, please stop, like here, and it'll have like a line that says stop here. 'cause there's going to be a road that runs along this edge of the building, or the site, I guess. So when this light comes on, traffic will stop, and that will allow the police chief to come out without hitting any traffic and drive to wherever the fire is, which is pretty cool. And I'll turn off the alarm right now. Just to show you that once the alarm goes off, that light goes back down into the ground, which is pretty cool. So once you turn the alarm off, this light that you just saw was on is now hopefully off. Yep, goes back down into the ground and turns off. So pretty much it triggers a piston, a sticky piston that pushes this up, and once it's pushed up, it comes into contact with this glowstone torch, or redstone torch, I mean, turning it on. So pretty simple. I'm not the best at redstone, but I was able to make this work. This building here, another thing that happens that I don't know if you saw, it actually, when the alarm is sounded, these lights kind of flicker on and off. That's because they're hooked up to the redstone that actually powers these note blocks. And so when the alarm sounded, this strand turns on and off as well as this one. So this turns on and off, which means the power to all these redstone lamps turn on and off. So you get kind of a flicker effect when the alarm is sounded, but when the alarm isn't sounded, I made sure it's hooked up to a strand that's on when the alarm is off. So if I hooked it up to like one of these, obviously these wouldn't work. So I hooked it up to the side that's on when the alarm is off. And now I'll show you the switchboard, or I guess the district board. I really don't know what to call it, but pretty much this whole fire department is going to be wired up to the, it's going to be wired to the rest of the city, if that makes sense. There's going to be 12 districts in this city, 8 districts, 12 districts. I was thinking of Hunger Games, I think. But as you can see, each light represents a district, and each district is going to be broken up into a certain amount of sections. So there's sections and districts, and like I said, sections are within districts, and the city is broken up into districts, and districts are broken up into sections, if that makes sense. And I'll show you the redstone for this. So, like I said, there's 8 lights for each district. 1 for each district, that is. So all these lights are wired down here, and they're broken up into 8 different lines, which will run to each district. So if this line's for, I think this line's for District 4. This will go to District 4. This will go to District 3, I think. This will go to District 1. This will go to District 2. And these will go to all their respective districts. Sorry. And each section will hook up to its district line, but they'll be hooked up in a way so that if there's a fire, and there's going to be a way of triggering these lines to light up a light on this board. So if there's a fire in District 1, someone in District 1 like flips the fire switch in their building, it'll light up this light. But depending on which section they are in that district, this light will blink at a different speed. So each section will be given a different speed. I'll show you what I mean. This blinking light up here is going to be kind of what I do for each section. So this is ticked to be blinking really slow, like it's pretty slow. That's because these are ticked to 3, these repeaters. So each section will be given a different speed at which it will make the light board blink. I don't know if that makes any sense, but So say someone in section 1, say section 1 of district 1, it's set so that if there's a fire or the fire alarm is switched in section 1 of district 1, that this light will blink slow. So if this light is blinking slow, they'll know that there's a fire in district 1, section 1. And say section 2 is set to blink really fast, they'll know that there is a fire in section 2 of district 1. And so on and so forth. If that makes any sense. Hopefully it does. It's kind of hard to explain, but it'll make more sense once this I'll show you hopefully the lights didn't turn on. Oh, they already turned on. But as you can see, it doesn't sense any light, so these all turned on because of this sensor. And same with the outdoor lights in the front. But yeah, that's how that works. So it's going to be a real working fire department, which is going to be pretty cool. There's going to be buckets of water in here, obviously, for when there's a fire, axes, diamond armor for the firefighters. Unfortunately, in the creative mode version, or creative mode PC version, you can't access any armor. Like, even if I type in armor or diamond. Oh, you can. Cool. What is it called? Oh, that's why. I thought you couldn't access this in the PC version of creative mode, but I guess you can. So I'll be filling these chests with diamond armor, diamond axes, and buckets of water for the firefighters. So this will be a working fire department for the city, which is going to be awesome. And other than that, that's pretty much all the features. Oh yeah, I'll go up into the tower. As you can see, it's pretty cool. I already showed you how this little thing switches on and off. Here's like a maintenance way for if there's something wrong with the redstone. And again, these doors are a pain in the butt, but you can actually go up in the building. You can kind of see all the redstone and whatnot. And here's the very top. Oh, I'm stuck. Here's the redstone for the note blocks, all that good stuff. But yep, nothing too special. This has been episode 1 of my Let's Build a City series. Obviously, like I said, I'll actually film the construction of my buildings next time, starting with the power plant. And I apologize for not filming the construction of this. I kind of got the idea while this was already being built, so I wasn't just going to pick up in the middle of construction. I just said I might as well just kind of wait for this to be done and then use this as episode 1 and then actually start building stuff in episode 2. So I hope you like this. I'll be doing the Let's Build an Airport as well. Other than that, that's pretty much all I have to say. I hope you like this build. I hope you follow this series and follow the progression of this city as it's built. But other than that, that's all I have to say. This has been Colonial Puppet. Have a good day.